What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's world title fight at 154 pounds between the champion Sebastian Fundora and the challenger Tszyu.
I have to realize when Fundora takes one step, think of how many over the top and
Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? Could you also like this video? Also, go down to the bottom of your screen, find the bell notification button, click that so you never miss a video. All right, fight fans, I also want to mention new features on the channel. We opened these up last week. Join our Johnny Says Boxing Insiders group. It's a couple bucks a month. What this will allow you to do is have access to our insider bets on our props, our parlays, our money line picks, and our method of victories, all things Boxing Insider VIP. You could find that link in the pinned comment below. All right, guys, another busy weekend of boxing. The fights actually start tonight in Sydney, Australia. I'll be going to those fights. Headlined with a domestic grudge match between two Australian rugby legends, Paul Gallen taking on Sonny Bill Williams. I already featured that fight on the channel. Go to my fight prediction playlist. I gave you my breakdown, analysis, and prediction right now in the comment section below. You Aussies, who wins this fight, Sonny Bill or Paul Gallen? We also went to the UK. We broke down the fights with the heavyweight world title undisputed on the line between Usyk and Dubois. That's a rematch. But also today on the channel, we're featuring another rematch, this time at 154, between the champion Seb Fundora and the challenger, the Aussie Tszyu. So in this video, we're going to be going over both fighters' careers. We're going to talk a little bit about how they go about their business. And like always, stay tuned to the end of the video. That's where I'll be going over the current Las Vegas odds. I'll also be giving you my prediction and telling you where to put your money. All right, guys, since this fight got announced, since it became official, I've been wrestling with the fact of who am I going to pick? Who do I see winning the rematch? I've been going back and forth. The odds, not necessarily a 50-50 fight. When I put the poll up on our channel, over 500 of you guys voted, and it's literally 51% Tim, 49% Fundora. I think that is a depiction of where the overall boxing minds landscape is going into fight night. When we look at the first fight, how it played out, it was marred in controversy. We know about the cut that happened in the end of the second round. We know about Tszyu's corner and their failure to accept a no contest stoppage, which would have allowed Tim to keep his belt, which would have had the fight come to a stall and probably rescheduled for a future date. But we know all of that did not happen. And the future of both fighters played out in very different fashion. We saw the fight go to the distance. We saw Fundora being awarded a split decision victory in that he took Tszyu's belt from him. He took Tszyu's O from him. He then went on to fight Cordell Booker. It's his only fight since that first Tszyu fight. We saw what happened to Tim. He went on after that fight to take on Bakram Murtazayev, a very tough champion, a guy that nobody has been calling out, and Tszyu got stopped early, got buzzed early, and since that fight, he got back on the winning track by fighting domestically against an American slugger, Joey Spencer, in which he stopped Spencer. So all in all, you guys are caught up. Those fights have led us into the weekend. We're going to see this once again. You could dissect the first matchup however you want. Some people are like, Tszyu was washing Seb up until the cut. Just watch the first 6 minutes. I don't think that was the case. I think both guys were giving equally as they were getting. The cut was unfortunate. I do want to mention, though, after that fight, the commission suspended Fundora for having a broken nose. It's not like Seb got out of there unscathed. He had a couple small fractures in his navel cavity. When you look at Tszyu, the damage he took after he was wiped down and the cut, the massive gash was stitched, his suspension was clearly due to the healing process of the skull. So moving forward, I do want to remind everybody what's at stake this weekend in Las Vegas. All right, guys, this is a rematch born in blood. Tszyu versus Fundora 2 will take place in Las Vegas, July 20th, Australian time. WBC Super Welterweight World Champion Sebastian Fundora, the towering inferno and Australian superstar, former world champion Tszyu, will rematch in the co-main event after engaging in 2024's bloodiest fight. The winner will leave with the belt. The loser will leave with a lot of questions on where they move forward with their career. Guys, this is what makes it so interesting. When you look at a Tszyu matchup versus Fundora again, when you look at Tszyu with the potential of losing this fight, where does he go in his career? He's fought his entire career at 54. He's in his 30s now. Could we see, win or lose, Tszyu moving up to 160? We know about Fundora. We know everything that comes with a Seb Fundora fight. Everything that's talked about, his physical stature, his reach, his height. He's standing at nearly a 6'6" frame. Now, would we see him moving up to 160? When you look at the champions at 60, it is not the heaviest division, and that's being kind. We know that Shiraz just moved to 68. We know Adamas is a champ at 60. We know Alam Hanalei is a champ at 60. And then you have Lara also holding belts. So it's not out of the question to say you can see either guy after this fight or a couple fights after moving to 160. Only time will tell. Business at hand is at 154. It's an intriguing matchup stylistically when each fighter is going to add to their arsenal. With Seb Fundora, you're going to expect a jab. You're going to expect him to exchange with the pocket. He could control distance if he wants to. He's a flat-footed fighter. He likes to mix it up in the pocket, get on his front foot, and force you to fight him. Tszyu, pretty much the same thing. Standing at 5'9", he's a pressure forward fighter. We saw him get stopped early against Murtazaev with this exact style, and it's one of those things in boxing, everybody was high on Tszyu until they weren't. Everybody loved this style until they didn't. And it's going to be interesting to see the adjustments, if any, he adds to his game. If you're watching him in training camp, if you're watching any of the videos with him hitting pads, you are seeing, if you could dissect the techniques, him doubling up the jab a lot, him throwing his lead hook off of the jab, which traditionally in his fights, he keeps it pretty basic. Jab 1, 2, jab, jab 2. So just from what I've seen, if you want to call that adjustments, I do expect to see a couple more lead hooks from Tszyu. We'll see if he moves his head. We'll see if that head gets off of the midline. But like I said, up until the Murtazaev fight, everything was working for Tszyu. And I also want to mention, he got stopped early against Murtazaev. It's not like an example of an Errol Spence Jr. getting beat up for 9 rounds and then getting stopped late against Bud. I was saying this on my live stream earlier. Even if Errol Spence Jr. in a different timeline never got into the car crash, never had the issues outside of the ring, even if he was 100% bill of health against Bud Crawford, and that fight played out exactly how it did with EJ getting dropped multiple times, getting beat up for 9 total rounds, I would still tell EJ, if I was his coach, if I was in his corner, to take a year or so off. And this is exactly what he's done. I don't know what's going to happen in his career, but if you follow Spence's Instagram, he is training again. He looks like he's in the best shape he's been in a long time. But moving forward, my point is with Tszyu, that wasn't what happened against Murtazaev. He got caught early. He got buzzed early in the first round, and he got stopped. My only reason for saying this is the fact that he didn't have this long, brutal fight. People are speaking this narrative like he's damaged goods, he's shot, he got stopped against Murtazaev, he's done. I wouldn't be so quick to say that. Like I said, everything I've seen with his training camp, what he looks like, I posted a photo of him getting ready for the weight cut. It's the first time I've seen him have an 8-pack during fight week. He looks in exceptional shape. He's only 30 years old. I expect him to be at his best, and I expect Seb Fundora to be at his best, and it's going to make for an intriguing matchup in the rematch. Right now, let's take a look at the Aussie challenger and see what he's been up to in his career. All right, guys, Tszyu's 25-2 with 18 knockouts out of 2,259 fighters in the world at 154. He's ranked number 10. He's fought a career total of 148 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 72% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as the Soul Taker, and the 30-year-old Aussie is a 5'8" orthodox fighter with a 70-inch reach. He was born in Sydney, Australia, New South Wales, and calls Rockdale, New South Wales, Australia home. We last saw him fight Joseph Spencer, 19-1, stopped him in the 4th. Murtazaev, 22-0, he got stopped in the 3rd. Fundora, the first time, 20-1, lost a split decision in the 12th. Mendoza, 22-2, won a UD in the 12th. Ocampo, 35-2, stopped him in the 1st. And guys, the fights before that, I was at the Tony Harrison fight when Tszyu put on a spectacular performance and stopped him. And the fight before that, he got tested against a former Olympian, a very tough pro, Terrell Gausha. He got dropped early and overcame that and went on to win that fight. So Tszyu is battle tested. Tszyu is a former world champion. Like I said in my lead up to this, I think you guys might be rushing a bit to call Tszyu washed. At 30 years old, this is the son of a boxing living legend. This is a former world champion. This is a guy who's super motivated to get his belt back. He already shared the ring for 12 rounds with Seb Fundora, and he lost a close split decision. He hurt Fundora. We know about the cut. We know about Fundora's broken bones in his nose. We know what happened with Tszyu against Murtazaev. What we don't know is what to expect come fight night. That's why I'm super excited and intrigued in this matchup. Right now, let's take a closer look at the champion and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Seb Fundora is 22-1 with 1 draw. He has 14 knockouts out of 2,259 fighters in the world at 154. He's ranked number 8. He's fought a career total of 132 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 64% career knockout to win ratio. He is the WBO World Super Welterweight Champion. His adoring fans know him as the Towering Inferno. The 27-year-old American southpaw stands at 6'5.5" with an 80-inch reach. He was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, but calls Coachella, California, USA home. We last saw him fight Cordell Booker, 23-1, stopped him in the 4th. Tszyu the first time, 24-0, won a split in the 12th. Brian Mendoza, 21-2, he got stopped in the 7th. Ocampo, 34-1, won a UD in the 12th. Erickson Lubin, 24-1, he stopped Lubin in the 9th. And guys, if you ask me, outside of the Tszyu victory, my favorite victory was his win over Erickson Lubin. I'm high on Erickson Lubin. They actually just announced Lubin and Murtazaev is this close from being made official. I really want to see those two fight. Seb Fundora is a guy who's going to enter the ring with a 10-inch reach advantage. We know about the height advantage. We know about the belt around his waist, the confidence he's taken in this fight. But if you guys want to do triangle theories, boxing maths, call it what you will, Seb got stopped against the guy that Tim beat, Brian Mendoza. Seb also took a guy at the distance in Carlos Ocampo that Tszyu stopped in the first round. So call it what you will. We know they fought already. We know Fundora took the belt, but it was marred in controversy. I'm glad this fight's going down. I'm not one of these guys that's sitting back and just totally discounting Tszyu. Like I said, I think the loss against Murtazaev, it was brutal, but it wasn't as brutal as people were saying. He got buzzed early, which happens, and then he got stopped early. It wasn't like he got beat up the entire time. So keep that in mind. When I look at these guys side by side, you got to talk about the height. You got to talk about the reach. You got to talk about their first matchup. You could talk about their resumes. I think going into this fight, because they fought once the first time, I just throw out the Murtazaev loss. I got to be honest with you. I don't think that's going to come into play in this matchup. I think both guys are solely focused on what happened in that first fight. I don't think Seb Fundora is going into this fight confident that he stopped Cordell Booker, and I definitely don't think Tszyu's going into this fight thinking that just because he lost to Murtazaev or that he knocked out Joey Spencer that he's bringing anything added into this fight. I think this rematch, you could go into it as a fan looking at it as if it's happened right after the first fight. I don't want to call the stoppage loss to Murtazaev a fluke, but I'm not going to sit here and say that that is a testament that Tszyu is washed. When I'm thinking about my prediction, where I'm going with my money, remember guys, in these Stats Don't Lie videos, I'm only giving you my money line prediction, but I do live streams every day. In those live streams, I go over my method of victory bets, knockdown prop bets, over and unders, long parlays. So be sure to hit the bell notification and join our Boxing Insider group to stay up to date on all of those bets. All right, guys, wherever you are in the world, let's pull our betting apps out now and look at the money line odds. I'm down here in Sydney, Australia. The app that I use is called Sportsbet. And currently on the money line, the champion, Seb Fundora, is a $2.30 underdog, meaning you put 100 on Seb to win, you get your money back plus 130. The draw is 16-1. Tszyu is a $1.70 favorite, meaning you put 100 on Tim to win, you get your money back plus $70. Like I said, guys, I put the poll up on the channel. It's literally a coin flip with you guys going one or the other. My mind all month has been back and forth. Last week, if you would ask me, I had Fundora winning. I even said it on my live stream. But having sat with it for a while, having rewatched the Murtazaev loss, rewatched the first fight between Seb and Tim, watching Tim in fight camp, looking how he looks right now with his shirt peeled. I've never seen him in better shape. I'm leaning on Tszyu. I like Tszyu to get his get back. I like Tszyu to become a world champion again. I don't think he's going to be carrying in any lingering effects from the Murtazylov loss or even the cut against Seb Fundora. I think he's going to make some adjustments. I expect him to box a little bit wiser with his jab, change things up a bit, and I'm counting on him using his lead hook a bit more. Guys, this is not an echo chamber. You do not have to agree with me. At the end of the fight, are we going to hear "and still" for Seb or "and new" for Tszyu? Also, guys, if you haven't seen my breakdown, analysis, and prediction of the undisputed heavyweight clash going down in the UK this weekend, another rematch between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois, stay tuned to the channel because that's coming up right now.